The idea is to come up with something to help jumpstart the local economy. But in reality, economic development can take years and millions in investments with no guarantees it will ever pay off. In tonight's North Carolina Rising series, Elizabeth Wilder shows us some of the challenges and opportunities that come in the name of economic development. We begin in Northampton County.
So this track was actually designed to be run in two directions.
Make no mistake, this is not the Charlotte Motor Speedway.
You're turning a lot. You almost always have some sort of lateral load on the car.
It's an independent test track and automotive research and development site along the Virginia border near Roanoke Rapids. The site is called Nccar, or the North Carolina Center for Automotive Research. Simon Cobb is the Chief Operating Officer.
We need to have a discrete presence, and Northampton County provides exactly that in a really good location. The Tier 1 aspect is just an added bonus because it actually helps an area that needs extra stimulus, and it helps us get the funding that we need to develop this facility.
Tier 1 means the county is economically challenged. The 620-acre site off Interstate 95 is intended as a catalyst for needed jobs. More than 1 in 4 people live below the poverty line, and more residents, according to the census, are moving away.
Not a lot of opportunity. It means that our kids get educated and they go somewhere else.
Here, state-of-the-art equipment waits in the Chassis Dynamics Lab. The idea is to develop alternative energy systems and more fuel-efficient cars.
We're working very hard to work with the high schools and the community colleges and the universities to do a lot of collaborative work. Ideally, collaborative programs, not just a case of hosting events. The best way I found is to always work with people on a subject matter. That's how you actually bring the skill levels up. And a good example is the autonomous Lotus Elise that was in the DARPA Urban Challenge. We worked very closely with NC State University and UNC Charlotte to develop that technology.
Nccar was intended as a public-private partnership. After a feasibility study, the General Assembly appropriated $7.5 million to launch the site back in 2006 and gave another $7 million over the next 2 years. Nonprofit groups like the Rural Center, Tobacco Trust Fund, U.S. Department of Energy, Department of Transportation, and the Golden Leaf Foundation together gave almost another $2 million.
I guess the greatest fear would be that we would raise false expectations for immediate results.
Critics say the project has hardly been in the fast lane, and some wonder if it will ever really go.
The opportunity for criticism is always there. I think particularly in tough economic times, we as a people tend to expect immediate results. The results have been positive. They haven't been grandiose.
Officially open since May 2010, the larger test loop and other planned facilities are not yet complete. State funding dried up in recent years. Cobb says the project can be self-sustaining as is, and he says projects like this one are never complete. For now, driver training for auto clubs helps pay the bills. This Nccar board member and NC State professor says he's optimistic about the project.
This one got started in better economic times, like an awful lot of things. I think that we've had a big shakeup in the auto industry, and I think facilities are changing, the players are changing, independents are playing a much bigger role than they once did, both component manufacturers, smaller automobile manufacturers. So in part because of technology changes, a facility like this makes sense, but also with a lot of realignments within the industry. I think that will create some market opportunities for us.
And he adds there are opportunities to partner with North Carolina universities and other related businesses. According to the Commerce Department, there are already 160 companies in the auto parts business, employing 17,000 people. To date, only 2 people work for Nccar. Sam and Simon.
This is not a manufacturing plant. This is not a case of investing a load of money in a factory that you staff up, you flick a switch and turn everything on and you start producing widgets. That is not what this is. This is a stimulus project. And realistically, it has a 15 to 25 year span to really reach its full potential.
What's the biggest challenge?
Time and probably, I guess, the capital.
When will you know that this has been a successful venture? And what are you pushing for?
We will know when we have created a bunch of jobs for Northampton County and some of the surrounding areas. And when there are various kinds of affiliate or associated enterprises developing in the area. I mean, that's the real goal for us.
It was the goal years ago, too, when Raleigh engineer Dick Dell came up with the concept for the auto R&D testing site. It was originally called the Advanced Vehicle Research Center of North Carolina. After a contract dispute, Dell moved on, taking his company name, AVR, and his business plan to Danville, Virginia.
Business is booming. This is the golden age for automobile research.
A dozen employees handle the load at AVR, and after almost 2 years, Dell says he's proud to be operating in the black. He says there's enough global R&D business to go around, but he warns.
The old "if you build it, they will come" just does not work. You've got to be able to have the proper facility, but that proper facility is like a foundation. It's something that you can build on, but then you've got to build a house on top of that. And so having the facility is not the end of the project. Having the facility is when the work really begins.
Having your own money on the line, $2 million for Dell, also pushes the need for speed in a business sense.
You know you've got to make that mortgage payment each month, and you know you've got people whose salaries you've got to pay, you've got families counting on you. The pressure is there to be successful.
This machine just makes it so easy.
Back in North Carolina, investors or taxpayers may want to know, are we there yet on this economic journey? Cobb says Nccar is close to landing major clients.
I would say be patient, wait and see. Take a look at South Carolina, look at the numbers of investment that BMW have put into that facility. It's multiple billions of investment. And it's more than just a manufacturing plant, it's a lot more than that. And it's not only the immediate investment in the facility.
I think the mantra among those associated with Nccar is really under promise and overachieve.
Patience, according to both groups, is key. Dell says this was the first month his company has been in the black, and he has high hopes for competing in the global market while having an economic impact in North Carolina and Virginia. To find out more about Nccar, log on to our website, unctv.org/NCRising.